Hey, how's it going? It's been a little bit. It hasn't been too long, I don't think. This is gonna be another one of those post-run video moments. Just like I had so much time to think, and I don't know if you could tell, but I hit a little harder today, and I feel fantastic. It's great. 10 out of 10. Highly recommend exhausting yourself and letting the only thing you think about be the exact thing you're doing in that moment, which is what I find running to do. Which kind of leads into my point today. Um, again, this is a conversation I've had a few times. I don't think I've had it specifically here, but I've had similar conversations of effort. You know, obviously, I hit this topic a lot, a topic similar to it a lot, like you know, being intentional with what you do, not doing things because it's what you're supposed to do, but because you want to do them, things of that nature. I think now I want to talk about specifically effort, um, because again, I talked about broken promises and intentions, and things of that nature. Obviously, what were you intending? What did you want to do? What was it that you were going for? What was your desire in your actions? And this specifically is talking about the actions part. What people often talk about, like lacks of effort, especially when it comes to like relationships, whether it be friendship, whether it be romantic, you know, any everything in between. Effort is always a topic of conversation of this person just doesn't put enough effort into being a friend with me or whatever. And I always thought of stuff like that as like, how do I say this? Whenever it's your, this is the way I used to think, is I must put a lot of effort into my friends because I hang out with them all the time and that takes something to do it. The difference is like, I always heard this saying from my coaches in high school of, what was it? It was motivation. What is it? Like it's easy to do things when you're motivated to do them, but it's discipline that allows you to continue to put in effort after that motivation is gone. Essentially, I think there's a shortened version. If someone knows it, drop it in the comments if you don't mind. But essentially, hanging out with friends and stuff, and going out and doing things with the homies is easy because like I already want to do them. It was always really convenient, especially in high school. It was always super convenient. It was easy to do it. I enjoyed doing it, and it took minimal effort. Now I do the same thing with them on a, I say semi regular basis because it's not often, to be honest. Um, but it takes me like a little bit of effort now. I have to drive like an hour and some change to see them, and even then, there's times where I could put in more effort. And I feel like effort as a concept, as an idea, is like so vague. Of like, what even is effort? Like trying really hard, is that effort? Because even then, um, let's say in relationships, someone could get their partner flowers every day, and that's a great show of effort. But then, like, what if they don't like that flower, or like actually they're allergic to that specific flower they're getting them? Then like that effort's wasted. Was it effort in the first place? Was it just like blind motivation? I feel like it's case to case, person by person, and it's so hard to say, hey, like you're not putting in enough effort when like I feel like it's such an intricate idea of how do you how do we know whether or not someone else is moving based off of their, how do I say this, motivation? How do we know someone's not, doesn't have like an incentive to do something for you, and we just write it off as effort? You know what I mean? I think it's like, and the only person who knows whether or not they're putting in effort is that person. I feel like, in if you catch my drift, I'm about to drink something because I'm like struggling. Anyway, like I feel like it's all in the eyes of the beholder. And at the same time, each individual person is gonna receive said action as something else. Uh, it's like right now, I'm currently trying to juggle. Act like how do you put in effort without seeming like it's weird amount of effort. You know what I mean? Like how do like what is a threshold for effort and like I don't want to say obsession because it's a really strong word, but like what's the threshold for okay that's a good amount of effort and that's too much effort or like that's not like I feel like it's a sucky tightrope to be walking because like how do you even begin to maneuver around that. I'm finding myself in a situation where I'm going, okay, I want to put in a lot of effort, but it's early, like really early, and maybe I shouldn't be putting in a lot of effort. But then also like I want to because it's important to me to be intentional with the things that I do, to be spontaneous or to be willing to want because I want to do something, I'll just do it instead of sitting there thinking and politicking about it. But then on the other hand, it's like, how do I know the other person wants to receive that kind of effort? Or how do I know I'm not putting in too much effort? Or how do I know that my efforts even, how do I say this? Like, I don't want to say in vain because I think regardless of whether or not it's in vain, I don't, I'm not upset by it. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make a difference to me necessarily. Um, I just I wanna give myself a fair chance. You know what I mean? Like, I think not putting in effort would be a disservice to myself, not necessarily to the other person. But this is the see, this is where again it gets more and more complicated. Of I get told, hey, you need to put in more effort, and I think, you know, you're right, but that's scary, right? It's like again, how do I know when it's too much or when I'm not doing enough? What you know how like where's the signals for this? I hate that I kind of feel sound like a broken record right now, but again, like effort is such a loaded word, and I feel like with a lot of my generation, a lot of words that had not a lot of meaning have a ton of meaning now, and a lot of words that had a lot of meaning before don't seem to have any. So like effort is such a buzzer word, and it means so much, but because it means so much, it in turn it doesn't mean a whole lot anymore. You know what I mean? Like I said mean so many times. Like let's say like it's become so significant that in becoming so significant, it's lost its significance. You catch my drift? It's like bush apples. Like okay, you think like what the fuck are you talking about? For those who don't know, Bush Apple's like a beer that's like a limited edition beer that people go crazy for. Like people buy like $800 pallets of just Bush Light Apple because like it's super limited. It's only out for so long, and like they stockpile it for for enough for the year coming up until they drop it again. And you're probably thinking like, what does this have to do with this? I'm saying it's super significant, right? Like super significant. Like people are wild for it. Now imagine if it was a regular flavor that was out all the time. Then it would lose its significance, right? Like for example, like I feel like something like Baja Blast is a good example. I keep going back to food. Like I think that's like the greatest way of kind of comparing this. Like the only reason why Baja Blast was like super popular at one point because now it's not super popular was because it was literally only available at Taco Bell. and then they dropped in cans. And like, when do you ever hear anybody talk about Baja Blast anymore? Because it's readily available. It's lost its significance because anyone, like, you can get it anytime, anywhere, whenever. And now back to the word effort. People throw that word around the same way they throw like love and like commitment, and I mean, even like, I want to even say like marriage is just thrown around. Like it's become so blown. It's become so blown up, and what's the word, like like fantasized, that it's lost. A lot of it is lost its significance just because people. It's more trendy than it is, um, like an emotional aspect of your life. It's just like buzzword, buzzword, buzzword in a time where we live in, and you know, like TikTok is constantly throwing out new shit to be paying attention to, new lingo, new joke, whatever. The same thing kind of happens to a lot of our emotional responses, where like you see videos of guys on fucking 20v1 talking about, like, that one clip of that dude. He's like, "Oh, what would you do for a first date?" It's like, "Yeah, go buy you a new fit, buy you a bag, pick you up in my double R Rolls Royce." He had to specify. Um, and it's like, and this is the thing is everyone else, no one else really said anything that ridiculous. But this guy threw out buzzword, 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 and somewhere a TikTok was like salivating over this, and it did. It blew up. I mean, it was like a crazy clip because, I mean, essentially what it was the most extreme version of a reality that some people are pushing, and it's like it's so unrealistic, and in a lot of ways, that's where I'm saying. And I hate saying this word because this word has lost its significance too. Is like, where's the genuine? Where is the genuine effort line at? Where does it seem like? How do I maneuver, tiptoe around, move through a form of effort that's not weird, or am I overthinking it? I'm almost certain I'm overthinking it. But that's kind of the point of the conversation, is like working through it, I guess, because again, I've really changed up my whole demeanor when it comes to some of these situations. Again, I'm a lot more intentional. I'm a lot more, well, I want to do something, so I'll just go do it instead of sitting there thinking about it. I've kind of taken that. I've taken that approach to, like, obviously, like, my running and my working out and my diet and my job. I've become more intentional in everything I do, and like, it's maintaining that momentum, obviously, but also, how do I make sure that it's not just momentum, and I maintain that effort? And then now that I'm in a different point in my life, where I'm in a slightly different chapter, I'm in a different arc right now, so to say. I've just began a different arc. I'm like trying to mentally prepare myself of how do I maneuver this arc without fucking it up. And the answer is, like, for me, I keep wanting to say be intentional, put in effort, try really hard. And then in the back of my mind, it's like the fucking societal pressure of be nonchalant and don't show too much effort and play this push and pull game. And I hate that shit because I'm really chalant. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard for me to not get excited over these things, and I'm not a hide your emotion type of person. I'm very loud about the way I feel on a regular basis, regardless of how I'm feeling. I'm very expressive of it. As you can tell, I mean, this is like my main outlet, is making these videos, and it's literally just like airing out my dirty laundry half the time. But you know, I'm trying to be intentional. But I don't want to. I don't. This is the issue. Is if I don't want. I want to put in a lot of effort, and obviously I'm probably going to. But like, I hate this back of my mind thing, because if I go down that path of, like, you know, maybe it'll work, maybe it won't, and it's not about working. It's just about being me. But it's like there's something disingenuous about wanting to act different because that's how you don't. How do I say this? That's like the correct way of going about things. I'm not saying anything crazy like, wait, excuse me, sorry. Damn. It's not like, um, fuck, I think I lost my train of thought. No, but it's not like there's like a correct way of going about these things necessarily. Just like I'm trying to be myself without being like overwhelming. That's the thing, is overwhelming. I don't want to be overwhelming. And I feel like it's so easy to overwhelm people or like come off the wrong way. Um, Again, I'm just like trying to tiptoe around that. Yeah. And so that I've kind of gotten my mind poisoned in a sense. The title of this video is going to be something along the lines um, of like how do you define effort, or like where to decide, or where is too much effort or something like that. I don't know, fucking something of that nature. Like, just to circle back, effort is completely dependent on the person. How do I say this? I wanted to say it was completely based off of the person's intentions when they put in that effort, or like what that effort is for. But I'm starting to lean towards the effort being in the eye of the beholder of what does that effort really mean if the person you're putting that effort into doesn't actually perceive it as that. I've been guilty of putting a lot of effort into something that turns out wasn't a big deal to a person, and then like all of a sudden it's like wasted effort, I guess. And was it ever? I mean, it's like you try hard, but if it was easy to try that hard, then was it really effort then, or were you just going with it? You see what I'm saying? Like it take this is gonna be a weird example, but it takes the same amount of effort to like thrash in the same direction as the current as it does to stand against it. Even though one of them is actively moving quickly, it's just not in the right direction. And in one of them, you're not necessarily moving, but your effort has resulted in something static. Do you see what I'm saying? Am I making sense? Am I kind of spitting? If your goal was to be, let's say the river goes from left to right, it flows from left to right. If your goal was to be on the left side of the river and you are thrashing as hard as you can, swimming as quickly as you can to the right, then you've put in a lot of effort. And that's but the person waiting for you on the left side of the river isn't going to commend you for trying really hard because you're going in the wrong direction. But if you just stood there and you sat there and you fought against the current and you managed to stand there, at least the person on the left side would see you as putting effort into staying near. You're not completing it, but at least you're doing the right thing. Maybe that's what's the difference. Maybe that's what the difference is putting effort into the right thing. Maybe it's not necessarily about how much effort you put in, but where you put it. Damn, that might be it. Might have just broke the code. So essentially, there's nothing wrong with being chalant, trying hard, um, wanting to put effort into something. Just make sure that that effort is well placed, coming from a good place, and that your intentions are in the right place too. Uh, I think that's where I'm gonna put that. Um, and there's no shame in failing. Sometimes it happens. It's not wasted effort if your intentions were in the right place. Anyway, thank you guys for listening. I really appreciate all the support all the love. Uh, to my couple of friends that watch my videos, I really appreciate it. um, if you want me to talk about anything else, just leave a comment. If you want me to expand on anything I said in this video or past videos, just leave a comment. Let me know. Um, but yeah, take care of yourself. Have a great rest of whatever period of time that you operate on. Uh, for me, it's nighttime, so I'm gonna say have a good night. Drink some water, eat some food, take care of yourself, and let's attack the next day. Have a great rest. Bye. See you in the next one.